Okay, here we are at IoT World, and I'm so happy to be joined here with Craig Stice, Chief Analyst at Omdia.
Yes, hi.
So tell me about the application market forecast tool. This is 20 years old?
It is, it's amazing. 20 years may not seem like a long time to some people, but in the technology industry, 20 years is a long time. A lot has changed
Where
in 20
were we
years.
20 years ago? Do you remember?
Where was I 20 years ago?
Yeah, the market.
The market was so different. That's the crazy thing about it is, when you go back and think 20 years ago, we didn't have smartphones. We didn't have tablets.
Wow.
Some of these everyday gadgets that are a part of our life right now that we can't even imagine without, they didn't exist 20 years ago, just 20 years ago. In the IT world, desktops were the biggest semiconductor revenue consumer. Notebooks were kind of for the privileged that needed mobile computing. And servers were just kind of more one-size-fits-all general purpose type of servers. We didn't have these huge vast data centers that we have now. So it was a very, very different industry just 20 years ago.
What about today?
Well, today it's, obviously everything is mobile. Everything that we have technology-wise, is kind of catered around being mobile. Smartphones kind of started it off. The iPhone was released in 2007, I think it was, and kind of just created a completely new consumer experience to take with you anywhere you wanted to go. And not just that, but it wasn't just the gadget or the smartphone itself, but everything around it. The data creation that we make now, whether it's pictures or movies or music, whatever we're downloading, whatever we're saving is going off somewhere into a data center, into a cloud. That industry has erupted and grown massively to be able to manage and store all of this data that everyone's creating.
So with all this massive change, how has this forecast tool stayed?
Well, I think that's the really unique part of it is change. This tool was created to really provide a complete view of the semiconductor industry. And 20 years ago it was very different, but since then we've had to add in new applications that are driving new semiconductor demand. And I think that's really what has been the attraction to it from our customers, is to be able to look ahead 5 years into the future at what is the forecast going to be, and why? What are the influences? What's pushing it? That's going to change the demand scenarios.
So for this tool, was there a major change, like every year, every 2 years, every 3 years, or did it just evolve?
It's
gradually?
just evolved, yeah. I think that it has to. It's really hard to predict when a new gadget is going to come in and change everything. We wish we had that kind of insight, and sometimes we do, and sometimes it kind of takes you by surprise. But it's not only just an actual piece of hardware in your hand or a server somewhere, but there are nowadays a lot of external influences that change everything. Obviously, COVID-19, a considerable example of how it has changed the industry and everything that we've experienced the last couple of years. But there's also, we've gone through earthquakes, we've gone through fires, power outages, snowstorms that have changed direction of the industry. And that's really the uniqueness of the tool, is our customers can kind of see not only just new hardware or new applications coming to the market and how they might change things, but also how these external influences are impacting the markets as well too.
So how does this forecast tool stay relevant for the next 20 years?
Well, we got to keep it up to date, really. We have a huge team at Omdia of semiconductor analysts and application analysts that are constantly reviewing the markets. When we see there is a need for a new application to be introduced into the AMFT, we bring it in. If there's a new semiconductor technology that's being introduced to, as part of the supply chain for anything new, we'll look at it, and if it becomes relevant enough, then yeah, if our customers are asking for information, on these a new semiconductor technology or a new application, then that's our job is to review it, and if it makes sense, then we'll put it into the AMFT tool so we can show that kind of forecast to those customers.
So I'm guessing you call it AMFT for the application market forecast tool. It's well known in the industry.
It is.
Well, it must be up to 20 years.
Right. Yeah. We have some of the the largest semiconductor manufacturing companies in the world that subscribe to the tool and have for a very, very long time, and use it as part of their business to help them strategize what the future is going to be for their business.
Well, I look forward to the next 20 years in your tool.
So do we. Thank you very much.
Thank you.